I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. No second guess it, I let it set it. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G, sitting alongside my boys Rio and Jimmer today, and we've got a fun night ahead of you, all right? For those of you listening, those of you watching on YouTube, it's going to be a good time. Before we kick it over to you, Jimmer, here's what made my day today. I laughed and I almost cried at the same time. I went to Casey's tonight and I went inside, bought a couple things, and I was like, before gas prices go up, let's just throw 20 on the vehicle out there. She's like, okay. And she looks at me, she's like, you're not going far, are you? I'm like, Jesus. You're right. That was funny, but I almost cried too.
So what's the over-under on where it goes up to?
Ooh. So, who was it? I can't remember if it was JP Morgan. Somebody predicted that barrels would go up to 180, and they're at 120 right now, and we're paying $4 here where we live.
I hopped off that oil way too soon.
Yeah, so I bet you we're talking $5.50.
Russ just said if we pull
in our area,
if we pull stuff from them, just in general. Like everyone keeps pulling their endorsements and TV and all kinds of stuff over that way. If we pull in, if the United States pulls anything more that, the fuel, that's what it is. If we pull out of the oil, then when we come back, it'll be $200 a barrel.
Well, we just did that, so
yeah,
good. It's good to hear.
Hey,
we're working with Venezuela. They're going to help us out.
If only
Saudi Arabia, they hit
if
up Saudi
only
Arabia.
we had our own pipeline. Weird.
Crazy to think about.
You and your conspiracy theories, Jimmer.
Right, because none of them are coming to truth right now.
At least we don't got mean tweets. So
Yes.
Right.
there's that.
We got the mad tweeters gone. Well, let's not go down this. It's never a
Yeah,
good
we have
one.
too much good shit going on in
We
sports.
do. We have
Let's
a lot
talk
of good
about that,
shit.
Jimmer.
Yeah. So we're going to kick it off with the biggest one. Seahawks agree to trade quarterback Russell Wilson
God damn it.
and a fourth round pick to the Broncos for quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, which is the number 9 this year and 23 and 1 in 23. 2 second-round picks, which is 1 this year, number 40, and 1 next year, and a 2022 fifth-round selection. That being said, the Seahawks also officially released All-Pro linebacker Bobby Wagner. So the same day that he gets traded, Bobby Wagner gets let go. They came in the same year. End of an era.
There's my warm whiskey wager for that. Russ play somewhere else. Bet.
Yep.
Did I bet that?
No, you didn't, but you were on that side, so you should.
I was. Fuck it, I will. We got to drink this shit, so
Yeah, this kind of just solidifies their looking to rebuild. I mean, there's no quarterbacks out there.
They got Drew Lock, though, right, Jimmer?
They got Drew Lock.
They got Drew Lock. I bet you he plays next year over Geno.
Yes, he's going to play, but that's not, who they want. I did hear or I've seen some rumblings. They're going to try to use those picks they just got to get Deshaun, but like we talked about, that's looking like a while before that's even settled. And then if you think about it, he's got to get a suspension from the league once it's all cleared up. Has to. I mean, it's got to be 10-plus games, right?
No, it'll probably only be 6. We'll punish someone for gambling, which they have an endorsement on. Endorsements all over the place for, but God, that tastes like shit. God damn, I'm trying to talk.
That's your first one in a while, bro.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop burning. It doesn't. It's still going.
Yeah, it burns all the way down and out the other end.
Holy shit. But the NFL's made it loud and clear. Whether find the rule is the rule, and you're not supposed to bet on your own sport, your own professional sport. But they made it loud and clear. Like you get a year suspension. You can whoop up your chick or your significant other. You can abuse your child. You can get popped with any kind of drug. Obviously, sexual cases or whatever's going on, and I guarantee it'll be less than a year. So that you already said that, what you were saying, it would be at least 10 games, but I bet you it'll be like 6.
What if he comes out of this unscathed?
There's no way. There's no way, right?
No, I'm not even talking about the NFL. On the legal side,
Yeah.
what if he comes out of this, settles everything, does what he has to do, and then the NFL says, all right, I guess.
Before we keep going with that is literally my very next thing. So let's
hit it.
Well, did you guys want to talk more about the Russell?
The
impacts of it?
Like
Yeah,
I
let's
said,
do it.
I think it's full-blown rebuild for the Seahawks. They'll sign their 2 receivers, and then, probably look for a quarterback. Like I said, I saw the potential trades going for Deshaun, but who knows? But they're in rebuild mode. How about that division now?
Oh man, the AFC West.
Yes, the AFC West. It's going to be insane. Loaded up now.
I was telling Rio this last night or the night before, and in your division, if your worst quarterback probably by far is Derek Carr, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I think Derek Carr is one hell of a quarterback. I don't think he gets enough love. I think he gets hated on way too much.
Yeah.
And now
they've
you
got a
just
really
go,
good offensive
oh
mind.
man.
Yeah. So
The Broncos to me are still better than all of them. Then now they have a defense. So what were they missing that we were talking about all season?
Yeah, quarterback.
Borderline off season.
Quarterback play was real bad.
We kept giving them props for their defense because we know they had it, and they had all the weapons too. They just didn't have the quarterback to get them the ball.
So do you think they gave up too much? Because I can see a scenario playing out. You talked about Russ and for his wife, they wanted to be where the spotlight was, especially for her, big city, something like that. Denver isn't that. So he's got one more year, and he can say whatever he wants. Yeah, I'll sign with you. But ultimately, until it's on paper, that's not legit. So say he rolls in there. Maybe they have a mediocre year, and he bounces.
They don't do this. They do not. There has to be upon the contingency of him signing. Like there had to have been a conversation or like approval for them to talk to him.
He can say whatever he wants.
No, until he actually signs it. Hey, unless he signs it, this deal goes through. It's almost like passing a physical. Like he has to sign a contract extension. I don't know why you wouldn't give all that up for 1 year. So there has to be something like that we haven't seen yet.
2 years, right? Didn't we clarify that? It'd be 2 years.
Maybe it's the 23 season.
Yeah, it was the cap hit part that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so 2 years. I don't know. I get where you're going. I could see a world where this year doesn't go great, and Russ is like, yeah, I don't know, and maybe he ends up going to a place like New York.
Right.
So you will give up on the Broncos with so many more weapons to go to a shit storm like either one of the New York teams.
Depends on what he actually wants, right?
That wouldn't be the reason why you leave. Then it'd be the full reason why you were talking in the first place. It'd be purely because of Sierra. That's it.
That's
It would have nothing to do.
That's a
with
lot of play. He literally got down on one knee and asked if she would have another baby with him.
Right, but
yes, she has a lot of pull in that where they go.
I understand that and I get that, but this agreement or this trade is purely contingent upon Wilson agreeing to go there. He's not going to agree to go there and.
Well, he knew Seattle wasn't going to fucking.
If you wanted to go to New York, you would literally just tell them like you make a trade with one of the New York teams. He would just say that. Then I don't think you waste because I don't think he wants to hurt the Seahawks. Like they've done enough for him too. It isn't like they ever hurt him. Like, hey, go ahead and give up a bunch of draft picks. I'm only gonna go here, and you know what I'm saying. Or sorry, and hurt the Broncos for whatever reason. I'm sorry, I said the Seahawks. But why hurt a team when you could have went to where you wanted to in the first place? Why waste 2 years then?
Because he's 33, and if he's gonna win, it's probably gonna be. You're probably gonna want to do that soon.
And that division is tough.
Is he 33 already?
Yeah, he's 33.
So they're only going to extend him out probably another 2 years on top of what he has anyways, because then you're putting him at 37. Then you have to reassess. I know Aaron Rodgers just signed one at 37 too. right? I think he's 37. I can say I know what you're asking. So if you think that you can sign him, so you have to be confident that you're going to sign him. You wouldn't make the trade unless you did. He has to approve it. So obviously, by him approving it, he says that's him saying that he would at least sit down with you, right? So it gets down to the other part. I don't think it. I can't sit here and say it's too high when we've had these conversations, and I said I don't know if there's such a dollar amount for a franchise quarterback. Now 33 is a high end, high aged franchise.
I think not everybody's, but it's a little bit different thinking now when you saw the Rams do what they did. Right, they sold out for win now these next year or two, but they have nothing coming back to them down the road.
Which the Broncos did too before. Now they didn't have to trade for it. Mm-hmm. They got the land Peyton, but they went all in on that.
Yep.
And usually it does pay off. I mean, in that instance, the Broncos did go to 2 Super Bowls. They won one.
Yeah.
Obviously, you just said the Rams. They did. I mean, more times than not. The Buccaneers, as soon as they were able to bring him there, they started selling out and paying for these other free agents. So,
yeah, the Broncos.
I don't think it's too much if you're the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl. So if you don't get a Super Bowl, then maybe it's a high price. If you can't sign him, for I would say at least till 38. So 5 more years. So you'd add 3 to his contract right now.
Yeah. I mean, with that said, it's a tough division, right? The Chargers are getting better. The Chiefs are obviously who they are, things like that. But top to bottom, the best quarterbacks, we're going to look at Denver no matter what, right? Mm. So they hedged their bets a little bit. Their plan A was Aaron Rodgers.
No, they said that was not.
Well, they can say that now. But
they said they've been Seattle said they've been in contact with them for over a month. They've been working on this deal for a month.
Yeah, that's fine. Pete Carroll also said a month ago that
Russ was his quarterback for next year. Wednesday.
I'm saying
last Wednesday.
I said I'm saying both teams have said they've been working on this for over a month.
Right. So when did Denver bring in the Packers offensive coordinator? Over a month ago, right?
Yeah.
So they were, I think, in my opinion, one of the big reasons you bring him in is you're hoping to get Aaron. So your plan A, if it doesn't work out, we're still built great. We're going to bring in somebody. That's a hell of a plan B, right? Bringing Russ in. Yep. I think they're going to be fine. But to your question, we don't know. We don't know how it's going to go, right? Imagine if they get third.
We can't keep I can't keep hearing plan B because he's better than, for years wise, he's better than getting Aaron Rodgers for 1 or 2. You get this guy for at least 4 or 5 years minimum. And that's before you even get to Aaron Rodgers' age. So I still think this was actually plan A. You would be you literally would have been selling out for 1 year to try to get.
So you think the Packers offensive coordinator was the move no matter what?
Yes.
For Denver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially, and I like I told you before I did a little research at that time. I was like, it's Nathaniel Hackett. Who gives a shit? You're the coordinator for Aaron Rodgers, that any top end quarterback's gonna make you look better, right? Well, then that's when I was doing that, and I found out that no, he was the offensive coordinator of that AFC Championship contending team at the time, in the Jaguars with shitty ass Blake Bortles, and that was a higher end offense that year. So so I think they actually went with that based more off of. I'm not saying they didn't have a conversation. That isn't what I'm saying. I just don't know if it was actually plan A. I wonder if this has always been that. You have to say that. When Pete says that, you have to say that. Otherwise, it drives that. Do you think he gets 2 firsts, 2 seconds in this? If he says, yeah, no, we're trading with the Broncos.
Yeah, but
we're talking.
Hold on. But also, he said that a week ago, and you said they've been talking for a month.
Right.
So he didn't have to say that.
He still had to. You still have to make it sound like there's other people in the mix. You know what I mean? You can't say if I tell you that I'm going to give you something or trade or you're trying to buy something off me, and you're under the impression that a bunch of people want it. There's people in line. Let's say Facebook. You're selling something on Facebook, but then I go and tell you, no, you're actually the only one. What is his thought process going to go to? Well, I'm not going to give you $1,500 for that. I'm going to give you $1,000.
He said that he was their quarterback for next year.
Well, right. You're still.
So he wasn't saying there's multiple teams interested. That's just what he's saying.
I understand that. I'm just saying you have to. It isn't like you can say it. It isn't like you can say, yeah, we're only dealing with the Broncos.
You could not say anything.
Or say we're open. We're open to
You
moving
could, but
him.
that isn't the way the NFL works.
Yeah, regardless. So plan A, plan B. I think you're getting caught up in that. They had those two options.
Yep.
Yeah. It was
Either
one
way,
it was one
either
or the
way,
other.
they're in a way better spot than last year.
They're
right?
still one of the team. They're still one of the teams that landed one of the few 3-4 quarterbacks that were coveted or thinking that they had a chance of moving this year. So they're automatically a winner. So
Agreed.
right. I don't know if it was. I mean, I know it's a steep price, and I understand that, but when you're going for a Super Bowl, is there really too much of a price to pay? That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate part of the game is to win a championship.
So this brings me to a question in the division. If you are the Raiders, do you go, okay, looking up at the teams in front of me with all the quarterback and star power going on, do we go, okay, let's see what we can get for Derek Carr, rebuild ourselves, get some more picks, a little younger, we ship them out for what we can get?
Can I give you two answers? I want them to because Minnesota better be jumping on that bandwagon right there. Better try to because I would love me some Derek Carr, right? Mm-hmm. I would like to see him move on because I don't think he gets appreciated out there. That being said, I think they also see that they made one hell of a jump last year and that nobody was expecting even through all the turmoil, right? And they were still hanging and banging with everyone in their division outside of Kansas City. I think it was a rough 2 games, right? And then you bring in Josh McDaniel, who's an offensive guru, right? I don't know if you hold on, let's see what we can bring in too. Like we can, their confidence, especially the Davis family, their confidence isn't that they can't. And the normal outside minds like ourselves looking at it, we're like, yeah, maybe it's time you kind of tear it down even more. Like you already did it half-ass once or a majority once. Yeah. Maybe you actually just let Derek Carr walk. Maybe you sign Mariota or trade. Yeah, that's what I mean. Trade. Maybe you sign Mariota to a couple-year bridge quarterback and give yourself a little bit of time there. He's familiar with the organization.
Yeah, I don't know if you proactively go out and say, let's shop Derek Carr, but maybe you listen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he's still, his stats are okay, but I think when they look at ultimately getting the trade value, they're going to look at the stats and be like, well, he's not worth this. In my opinion, they keep him because he did more with that team than anybody expected last year. And the sky's the limit at this point.
Right, but if you could get anything, say you get for Russ, so you can get a couple first rounders.
Yeah. If you got that same thing,
if you could get somewhere up there, which I think you probably could in today's league, would you do it right away?
As the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're looking up at the three.
But he's also a loyalist too. So if I'm the Raiders, yes. But Davis is a loyalist too.
I get it. It was just something I
agree.
Question.
It's a
after
good question.
I saw this trade go down, I go, man, what the hell do you do if you're the Raiders? Because sure, your quarterback, you say my quarterback's good. He can make us compete, but then you start looking at all the other pieces. Denver's, all their receivers. They got a stud defense. Kansas City, that whole offense, right? The defense, whatever, but make up for it with the offense. The Chargers are rolling around, right? They got pieces on the offensive end. They got pieces on the defensive end, and it's just getting them to play together at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, and the Raiders have holes.
Yeah,
so do you go, shit, do I full-blown rebuild, or do I commit to Derek Carr trying to battle through this division with?
This could be my inner hater. It really could be, but I don't know if I panic as much when it comes to like the Chiefs. I mean, I understand they have the class of the class when it comes to the quarterback, but that contract is already shown to hurt that team. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to field a ready defense. Everything's going to be draft. Trying to get it that way. So maybe
if they hadn't been to the championship game the last how many years, then I would say yes. But since they have shown it, you have to take them into consideration. Like, okay, they're up there.
I'm not saying they're not, but I think they're the most vulnerable in that division. I really
think so too,
by far. So even as the AFC Championship contender or whatever, they're still the most vulnerable by far in there, and that's even.
I think the Chargers are the most vulnerable because of the coach.
Well, the wild card.
That's the big. I think they're the most vulnerable, but I get where you're coming from.
I guess I wouldn't say the word vulnerable, but yeah, that's your choice on that. Yeah. But mine is I wouldn't say the word vulnerable. I think that dude needs to calm the fuck down. Not everything needs to go for it on fourth or go for 2 every single. A little old school football actually does help you win games too. Believe it or not, analytics isn't everything. but that I would say the most volatile versus. I think the Chiefs are the most. Yeah, I really do think the Chiefs, especially the defensive side, unless they land like a different style of running back, maybe they get Saquon and he gets healthy or whatever.
C-Mac is in the picture.
C-Mac, I've heard too. So, I mean, if you get a versatile player like that, because then you would be throwing him the ball too. That's an extension of your run game.
Yep.
That's also another player other than Travis Kelce. And because when those defenses bared down on those two players, Kelce and Hill, all of a sudden that dude looked superhuman. Or regular, he looked like a normal quarterback.
Yeah, there was a stretch of 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, it was.
They looked bad, but at the end of the day, they still made the game, right? So
Yep.
They did, but that was yes. So you want to hear the factual? The factual is yes. The secondary is the Buffalo Bills pissed down their leg. That's more than anything. That wasn't the Chiefs making it versus the Bills pissing down their leg.
Yeah, let's be real. We all thought the Chiefs were going to fuck everything up last year in the middle. When we saw those games, we were like, they're done. They're going to miss the playoffs.
Done. Oh, yeah. They're out.
And then they still did what they do,
and
right?
then they were still they still weren't selling us even the mid part of the season because they kept winning, but they were winning ugly.
Yeah.
Right? We still weren't sold at that point. And then they took off. Yes, they did.
But so I want to answer your question real quick. So thinking of trade offers, the teams that would be willing to give up the most would be teams that are probably on that edge, but they need that quarterback, right? So like
Colts,
the Colts,
which we'll get to.
Colts
the
are big, yeah.
Steelers, maybe the Niners, like teams like that.
Maybe
that would be willing to give
maybe
the
the
most.
Eagles, even though they were sold on Hurts for a second.
Maybe.
I don't even think you need that. I think if teams are really sold on Derek Carr being the guy, then they'll do it.
Yeah, he's still
look at the Giants.
Because he's not old. Yeah, I agree with
Daniel Jones. I mean, you're not sold on him after all these years.
Well, speaking of that,
Giants is
that's an interesting
Yeah.
team in general. Just to be like, hey, hold on, we don't think we're that. Our defense isn't that bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's decent.
Yeah.
Our defense is decent. We have a couple offensive weapons, and we'll build off in the draft. Why not go get a Derek Carr? You know what I mean? Is that not a vast improvement?
Oh yeah.
I'm not throwing in the towel completely on Daniel Jones or whatever, but
I am.
He's shitty. Yeah. He's one hell of a runner.
He's just
a guy.
Mistake prone.
He's just a guy too, right? So he's just a quarterback. You go get that guy, and that could change their franchise.
I don't know. It's just a
Yeah.
thought. If you're the Raiders and you're looking up at what is now the stacked division, and you're probably number
Buccaneers.
4. I would say you're probably number 4. If I feel they're number 4 in that division, even though I know they played
Buccaneers,
well, whatever.
that's good.
Buccaneers.
That's good
Oh,
too.
Buccaneers,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So I feel they're number 4. At that point, what do you
For sure.
do you do? So
It's a very competitive division, so yeah, it's
it will
hard.
be.
Yeah, and I agree with you. At least me, I'll say me. I had the Raiders
Yep.
last year, and it didn't happen.
They
I told you
expectations.
when we picked our picks, it was hard for me to find a single victory for them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they're in the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
but that being said, I think it's going to be a little bit different of a battle for them this year, unless they nail the draft. Maybe they nut the draft perfect and they build off it. But I'm with you. Number 4, first thing you think of, you're just looking up. You're like, shit, are you kidding me? Derek Carr's like, I can't catch a break.
Yeah.
I can't catch a break.
Yep.
So told you that we get to it next. A grand jury will hear evidence Friday in the case involving Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. The same day, he also will face questions for the first time in at least some of his pending civil lawsuits. Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, confirmed the timing of the criminal and civil proceedings and added he'll instruct Watson to assert his Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate himself during his testimony in the civil case Friday, given that he could be criminally charged that same day.
God, that'd be tough. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to be careful, right? If you're him.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this isn't even, by the sounds of it, this isn't by choice that he gets on that. When it comes to the civil part, he has to go on there, right? Did
Yeah.
We talked about that about a month ago, that the judge agreed, and like so many of them, I can't remember what it was, 9,
he's got to field questions.
he's got to
basically.
field questions. And on this one, the same day that your grand jury is going for that, they were turning it into a criminal case. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're getting a resolution here soon, I believe. Regardless,
I think we are.
As in what was going to happen. Go ahead.
I saw some stuff come out about, him being in college and kind of a thing. This isn't surprising. It has happened before.
Oh,
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on. There's a lot of teams definitely paying close attention. Like I keep saying, I think even if he somehow comes out, boom, nothing out of the court side, he's got to get suspension from the NFL.
Regardless, it's a black eye, right? So you still get it even. Because Greg Hardy his charges got dropped, and he still had a 6-game suspension, I do believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always worse things. You could gamble on football, so it's not that big a deal.
Right. When you're away from the team on the non-injury football list. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Either way, God, I wish he wasn't such a perv. He's one hell of a special quarterback. He wanted out. Would love Minnesota to get up in there and grab it, but I kind of feel like a piece of shit if I say that I want Deshaun Watson, but he has I can't keep my dick to myself issue. Because I also hated Big Ben because how he acted. He got away with his shit.
To be fair, Ben's seemed a lot worse than Watson's.
Yes.
As far as forcing,
yes. And the bodyguards blocking the door and locking the door. Yeah.
Yep.
It does. Most of these were able to at least walk out. I don't know. But the story was pretty goddamn. Out of 23, the story was 23 of 23 of him turning over and just praying everywhere.
So Robert Kraft can get a rub and tug, but fucking.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's where we draw the line. If you want to ask, but yeah. Hey, go ahead and stick your, rub your fingers down my ass crack, and then all of a sudden flip over right at the last second.
What was that?
You're nasty.
It's pretty good.
That is spot on accurate.
I'm sure it's like that. Show the video. There's got to be a video somewhere, right?
It's got to be.
All right, so we're going to go through NFL quick hitters because there's a bunch of those.
Okay.
Titans re-signed linebacker Harold Landry to a 5-year, $87.5 million contract. Landry is coming off his best season with the Titans as he posted career-high 12 sacks, making him the first Titan pass rusher to hit double digits since Brian Arakpo in 2015.
Yeah, they had a handful of guys in there and that kind of front seven group kind of stacked in there, so good for him.
Do you have anything on that one? Okay. Chargers agreed to 3-year, $60 million deal with wide receiver Mike Williams.
Saw that one coming, yeah.
Needed to, right?
Yeah.
Made his jump.
He's got to stay healthy, though.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
He does. But he broke out last year finally especially with his young quarterback. They have a good core there. You got to keep. First off, you have the money to do it right now while your quarterback is on a rookie deal, so.
Yeah, it made a big difference. He was able to get, 9 targets a game in a lot of cases versus his 2 or 3 for 80 yards and a touchdown. So,
right.
Yeah, he can be that guy. So, good.
Yeah.
Steelers and Ravens offensive tackle Alejandro Villanueva says he's retiring after 7 NFL seasons.
Cool for him. Army vet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
he
for
said
him.
he did say a little bit of story with that is so he was still one of the better run blockers in the league last year with a 90% win rate. His pass blocking was the worst in the NFL he gave up 2 more sacks than the next worst.
Yeah. Did you see him pass block?
It was not good. And that's even with Lamar Jackson. And I understand the Lamar Jackson is a scramble quarterback and they extend stuff. I get it. But he even knows that he couldn't do it. So that's the reason why, all right, it's time.
Yep, for sure.
So, Arizona Cardinals released starting inside linebacker Jordan Hicks, who had one hell of a season too. I think he had 116 tackles, 5 sacks, 4 sacks maybe. That is to clear way for, and I forgot his name off the top of my head. Clear way for a linebacker they
Tulsa.
signed. Is that the one? Jordan something maybe?
Oh, no. I was just
no, sorry, his name's Jordan Hicks. Yeah, the draft pick from last year.
Yeah, the draft pick.
The first round pick. Yep. So it is to get more playing time for that cat. So.
Yep.
I skipped over that. What this computer? This is what you get for getting Apple, people.
Easy. What do we say about cancel culture?
So we're gonna go back to this before we get to it. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers is returning to play with the Green Bay Packers. The deal is reportedly worth $200 million over 4 years, which would reset the quarterback landscape of contracts, like we reported a couple days ago. Green Bay also placed the franchise tag on wide receiver Devontae Adams, kind of like throw it all in for another year.
Yeah. I am curious about what this deal really is because I saw the same reports, but then I saw him tweet that it wasn't that crazy amount, and he's ready to run it back and whatnot. So I am.
There's got to be maybe more of an opening for him after 1 year or something, maybe.
Yeah.
So I bet I don't know. I seen both, so
Yeah.
I seen that same thing too that you were talking about because these numbers aren't official. Nothing came out 100%, but by sounds of it, it's supposed to be like $50 million a year. Because I've also seen an awesome meme like Jordan Love. What I tell you that said? It said the most wasted NFL
First round draft pick,
in NFL history.
It's got to
If
be
he
up
goes
there,
4
right?
years, if he goes all 4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I seen another image where it showed Jordan Love ready to take his first starting quarterback role for the season. He has gray hair and gray beard.
Yeah.
When this is all said and done, but
yeah. I don't know. Good for the Packers. I mean, definitely if they want to have another shot. Handicapping their team, I mean, big time. Aaron Rodgers, I better not hear you say another fucking word about not getting me help.
I'm so
not getting me anything
I
because
agree
if
with
you're
you.
taking,
Thank you.
I know we're saying contingent on the real numbers coming out, but if
It's
you're
still gonna be
signing
in
a
that ballpark.
if you sign a massive deal like this, and there's your reason why you can't get any freaking help.
Right.
If the deal's right of what's been reported, so $200 million over that span, next year it would clear up about $20 to $22 million.
It
Of
cleared
cap space?
it cleared it up this year.
No, that's what it
that
cleared
up
up
this year.
That's
Oh,
why
this
that's
past
how
year.
they
This
sound
year.
Devontae. That's
So
how
that's
they,
that and like so they can add some re-sign some of these other pieces.
that's
So it
how
cleared
they-
$23 million this
Oh,
year.
okay. When
Yeah.
you say this year, that I'm
This
saying
year, this
upcoming
as in-
season.
yes,
that's,
this
That's
upcoming.
what I'm
Yep,
thinking.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for that time span, cool. Like
Yeah.
that makes sense. But I don't know what the rest of it looks like.
Yeah. I do not want to go through this again though.
well, it's not great. So even if because regression's got to hit.
Exactly.
So say even if
Kicking the can.
if he's horrible next year and you got to cut him, it's your dead cap still goes on for 3 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially for a quarterback with not much playoff success either. And then you would think that he'd want at this point in his career, 'cause he has plenty of advertisements, ladies and gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
He's
You'd
made
think
plenty
he
of
would go
money.
the
Like,
ro-
why wouldn't you go 20 mil
the
for
Brady
year?
route,
The
right.
Brady route. I want you, if I do this, and then you look like the good guy, like you're trying to help the team, and then the team, I'm putting all the pressure on them. I gave you practically $30 million to go ahead and you better surround me. You go out and you offer max to whoever you need to, a bunch of players to bring them in and overpay them if you have to get them to go to Green Bay because it's cold up there. But
Yeah, maybe his family's right. Maybe he is a d-bag.
it's starting to lean that way. But I also like his stances too. So
Some of them for sure.
Maybe.
some of them,
I mean,
sure.
part of it could be because he feels like they haven't done enough for him yet, and so he's like, might as well pay me now. I don't know. It's hard to get in their heads, to understand what
I'm
they're
so
thinking,
confused.
why
Like,
they do what they
yeah,
do. So.
with this guy, that's the reason why I'm so like. I hope this is it, so we don't have to listen to this bullshit next year and the year after. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm so tired because he does play a mental health game. I can go on both sides of this fence right here and just be like, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating, is what it is. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of even hearing about it. I'm glad for resolution. It doesn't really help the team. It is to get paid now, but then you can't bitch when they're not helping you either because you literally ate up all their cap. Yes, you freed it up for this year.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to hurt the franchise down the road the more and more it goes. Because even if you were to come back even next year, they would do something with your contract or they'd be kicking that can down the road.
I think because of this, they're going to have to let Zadarius Smith go because he's going to have to be a cap casualty.
Yeah.
One of their pass rushers.
When he's
Yeah.
healthy,
So-
When he's healthy, he's one of the better pass rushers, too. So either that or hope maybe he would take a restructure of some kind. Zadarius, that is. But, oh, this thing lags a lot, dude. Damn.
Sorry, that would
Apple.
be your internet.
No, this isn't the internet. It's already a loaded page. Players that receive the franchise tag I wanted to give you the list. We went over some of them already, but Orlando Brown, Kansas City Chiefs, tackle. David Njoku, Cleveland Browns. Jesse Bates III, Cincinnati. Mike Gesicki, Miami Dolphins. Your guy, Dalton Schultz, Dallas Cowboys. Cam Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars. That is back-to-back years that he has gotten the franchise tag. Devontae Adams, like we already just talked about. And then Chris Godwin, the Buccaneers. I'm surprised by the Godwin one a little bit, just because I thought they would get a contract done, because how they were talking at the end of the season, like that is our number one priority.
Yeah.
And they had other guys on defense they need to worry about too, but they said they made it clear about him.
Yeah, maybe go on this 1 year, see how you look after that awful injury. Yeah. Not real surprising. Tight ends getting the tag. I guess that was kind of surprising. Seeing Gesicki get it, and Schultz. I mean, I kind of get Schultz. He Blake Jarwin, so we signed him to a contract. He tore his ACL. Now he's having hip surgery. Could be career-ending. So you need to keep a guy, otherwise you have nothing at tight end. So, I mean, I kind of get it there, but definitely wasn't happy about it. Jesse Bates, definitely understand that. You need to keep pieces in your secondary.
Unless you're one of the elite, like, 3, I want to say, 3, 4, maybe 5. We'll say 5, I guess. 5 tight ends. I don't know if it's worthy of all that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, and I'm looking forward to the hype and the excitement of Irv Smith Jr., right? Because we didn't get to see him last year as a full-blown starter because he got injured. But the dude that came in and played for him for his starting role, Tyler Conklin, did just fine. You can find a tight end everywhere. They're almost as easy. They may be even easier than finding a running back, which everyone says they're a dime a dozen also. Mm-hmm. I don't know if paying top end for when it's not one of those, like, I want to say 5. That's without me thinking about it. If you're not one of those 5, you're just another guy. Like, you can be easily replaced for those same numbers, like that you're going to be producing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you're going to be paying those top 5 wages, the average of, to keep them for a year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I heard Cowboys are fielding calls for Amari Cooper, so
I did hear that. I saw that they are looking to, most teams that are calling and talking to them is that they would like a restructure of his contract before they would do it. That's the one thing. But they have fielded some phone calls for him. So speaking of your boys,
I think hold on before you keep going. The interesting one for me is around Godwin. So I kind of wonder. So he got hurt. Obviously, he had a bad injury, and to be honest with you, Tom Brady would have made him a lot of money based off the numbers with Tom Brady. He had really good chemistry with Tom. The numbers were way higher than normal as far as he goes. So I wonder if the team's kind of like hoping that with whoever the next quarterback is, he doesn't perform quite the same, and they can lowball him a little bit, save some money. Because right now they'd probably end up having to overpay because he produced so well with Tom. Just a thought on the Godwin one, but
yeah, that's a good take actually. Yeah.
Yep. Well, he was, it is a very good take, the thought of it. He was a producer before he went there, though. Like, it was...
Not the same, though.
No, I mean,
right,
no, they're completely different. It's a Jews, yes. Yeah. You could start 2 wide receivers from there as wide receiver ones on your fantasy team. Yes, that's a complete difference. I agree.
And we did that.
We did do that.
Yeah.
One would get the touchdowns, the other one would get the yards. Speaking of your boys, they have restructured the contracts of Dak Prescott and Zach Martin on Tuesday, creating more than $22 million in cap room. They're waiting on, because you already so eloquently put it, they're waiting on Blake Jarwin to see if he will. They've reached out to him because of his hip injury, like you in surgery that you so eloquently brought up. And then old boy already said he will not. DeMarcus Lawrence said he will not restructure, and he has a 20-something odd $20 million cap hit. 27 maybe.
Yeah, and if he got cut today, he would get $15 million maybe, 10 to 15. Anywhere else he went. At some point, some of these players got to go, I got to take a little bit of a pay cut so we can get somebody else in here
Mhm.
to help out.
Well, DeMarcus Lawrence, I don't know if that's the guy. He's been a trooper for you guys. You know, like, and he took a while to even get paid in the first place, and now you're asking for me to take it. I don't know. When he was on the field, that's one.
I was going to say,
he's one hell of a guy.
I don't know if you
He's an
realize
injury
how
guy.
many times he's been out because of foot injuries.
Yeah.
But he's missed multiple games, multiple years because of it. So, and that's why I'm kind of on board. At some point, you got to go. Okay,
But-
maybe I'm not producing.
Right. I'm just saying, but you're talking as a fan. We're talking about like also the reason why NFL players try to fight for fully guaranteed contracts, like baseball gets a high majority of the time, right? Like, hold on, this is a very physical sport. They're going to get, like, I want to get paid, and it's a very short career versus most, right? I don't know that I'm just saying, if there's anyone that you want to work around, like, I would be like, all right, let's see what you got for another year. I understand it's a business too. I get that. I don't know. There's other pieces that I'm more worried about. I would definitely let Randy Gregory go. That would not be like, he's a monster when he's out there, but as long as cocaine is a drug, the dude always has a risk of doing what are they called? Party beers?
Yeah,
Nose beers. Nose beers. So
Yeah.
I think there's other pieces that you shuffle around and move on from before you worry about DeMarcus Lawrence, who has been Mr. Cowboy for you and played on a very rough team that you guys finally started building up to where you're at. Loyalty,
I don't know.
loyalty
man.
doesn't
They need
take care of stuff, but
They need a new coach. I think that's the biggest thing. They've got so much talent on that team.
Yeah.
You could say there's holes. That's fine. Every team has holes, man. Like, for the last 20 years, they should have been better than what they ended at the end of the season, right?
I
So-
don't know about that. They were pretty bad early on in Romo's career and the Quincy Carter. And
Okay, so take away early Romo then. That's fair. But they're so talented. So it's like, is it head coaching?
they've missed out several years.
Yeah, even this year, right? They underperformed,
I'd say within the last
especially against
10,
winning teams.
they've definitely shit the bed.
Yeah, so it's like, is it the head coach? Yeah, I think head coach needs to get replaced for sure. But then I look at Dak, and I'm like, man, you've got so much talent on that side of the ball. Your protection isn't great, but I feel like he could have done better too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they restructured his.
Yeah.
That helped.
they have a
man,
very difficult time beating anyone outside their division.
anybody
That's-
with a winning record, to
Yeah.
be honest, right?
Yeah.
So it's like any good team.
But when you're the boys, that shouldn't be a thing, especially with so much talent on your team. So it's like, but they've made some mistakes. They felt like they had to pay Zeke, right? We've talked about that many times. That's a huge one right there for a dude that averaged 4 yards a carry. You know,
Yeah.
you know that I'm a whooper of this one. Tony Pollard was your better running back, and you overpaid that man. And not
I
Pollard,
get it.
but
I understand why, though. I mean,
I
healthy,
get it. Yeah,
pass blocker, he ran okay. I mean, I understand why. I don't think they should have signed him to that, but I get why they did.
well, they should have never drafted him. They should have had Jalen Ramsey.
Didn't he go before, or did he go after?
It's close.
No, they traded.
What?
No, yeah, he went after.
Did
Cowboys had number 2 pick. They
No,
took Zeke, right?
No, we had
We're
like
gonna look
4.
this up.
I believe we were sitting at 4.
We'll look this up.
It was close though. Yeah.
I know they were, real close. I would have definitely liked to have Ramsey. Either way, I mean, we're gonna pay
Somebody.
Was it 3 and 5? That Jalen
could
was
be.
like 5?
It could be.
something like that.
Yeah.
But I think we did talk about this once. I would definitely love to have Ramsey. Of course, we'd had to pay a hell of a lot more money there.
5th overall pick was Jalen Ramsey. And that was the 2016 draft. 2016 draft.
Cowboys must have been 4, maybe.
3 or 4. I can't remember exactly, but Joey Bosa came out of that draft too, by the way.
No.
Jared Goff, Carson Wentz. That's stupid. I have to go on a soapbox. Apple, for the love of God, your mouse and the scrolling the opposite way than a goddamn. We just have to do everything different. Oh my God, we got to keep it separated from the goddamn regular PC. We got to be original. Get the hell out of here. You can roll with some of the other shit, and that made sense. So dumb. Ezekiel went 4.
Did you have to buy the computer?
Because, yeah. Whenever one of you guys miss an episode, one of them isn't going. Either the mic or the... or the camera, and that thing can't handle both. And then when he misses, we don't have the camera. So
yeah.
yes.
So listen, here's the deal. I'm not a Cowboys fan at all, so I'm totally fine with you guys not being great. But in reality, it's like these are the things, man. So it's like I really think Dak underperformed. He's got that leadership, right? Quotes. We're gonna say that.
Yep.
I would love to see that in Minnesota, the leadership piece. But the rest of it, it's like, man, you've got so much talent. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And obviously, Zeke, I don't even talk about him because I think he's too obvious of a problem. But the coach, it's like there's got to be a better coach.
Yeah.
Right? So
Well, there is, but they've had multiple coaches. They've had the same issues.
Not the coaches they should have had, though.
I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't know if they.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know.
So I heard something from, and this several times now, pieces that once they've left Dallas have come and said that upper management, i.e. Jerry Jones, they say and have too much say, when it comes to who's getting the ball in the field. And that they actually have people. Yes.
Even? Oh, shit.
And they have people they want the ball to go to. Zeke, that's why Coop wasn't getting the ball because Lamb was getting a lot of targets, right? So there's actually a lot of – I think that's a big
marketing,
thing.
baby.
Jerry Jones needs to get his nose out of the whole picture.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
And there's a lot of truth to that. Who does the media go talk to like right away? They want to hear what Jerry Jones has to say about his team, and I'm like, dude, see the coach. How often do you see the owners talking in general? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe a couple times a year total.
Right.
Maybe. And this dude has to talk after every single game. Like, dude, separate yourself. Like, you're the owner, CEO, whatever, and you're the billionaire. You pay this man and these men over here to do, or ladies, women, whatever, to do this job over here. Let them do their damn job and step back.
Yeah.
If you didn't believe them, if you didn't believe they could do it, you shouldn't have hired them in the first place.
Yep.
Right?
So, yeah, I think that's a big – not to say, but like Dak was going to get paid whether it be at the Cowboys or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I mean, somebody's going to pay him, so why not us? Because otherwise we're back in the we don't have a quarterback mode.
Yeah.
So
Another breaking news one for today, earlier today. The Colts are trading quarterback Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders for a package of draft picks. The Colts will receive Commanders' third-round picks in 22 and 23. The 2023... I wrote second. Sorry. Supposed to be third. The 2023 third rounder can become a second round selection if Wentz plays 70% of Washington snaps. The team also swapped second round picks in 22, with the Colts moving up from 47 to 42.
yeah, definitely seen him getting moved on from. I don't know what their cap space looks like. They're gonna eventually have to pay all these guys on the defensive side of the ball. Carson, I don't know what his years look like, but I know it was going to be $20 million plus cap hit this year alone.
They did say, it was I can't remember, maybe it's 28. They said they will be paying his full contract this year, including his signing his roster bonus, which is due in 5 days. Washington will be.
What do you think about it? Because I think he's not a great quarterback, a game manager, and not a very good one at best. I don't know. I guess third-round picks is not that horrible to get rid of, but still, I don't know.
I think it depends on...
Definitely an upgrade, I believe, for them, which they needed.
Maybe. It depends on what's really going on with I'm a Fitzpatrick. I think he could have done fine with that.
Yeah, but we're going with who's actually was playing. Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
Over Heineke, sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
How much? I mean, Heineke played fine.
Well, I'm also just like Jimmy G's still out. What? He is definitely better than him. Why not go? Why not go for him?
Does that say Fitzpatrick might just end up hanging it up because of his hip shit?
He's probably done.
He might be, right?
He's really old now. He's almost 40.
He's got to be 39. Yeah, 39,
He took
40.
a whooping on that. It was a cracked hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was shirtless at a game. I do know that. Was that
the
Bills
Buffalo
game?
game? Yeah,
Bills
with
game,
fans?
No, so in my opinion, if Fitzpatrick was able to come back and was good, I would, in this situation, take him over Carson Wentz because I'm just not – Carson's not the guy. It's clear at this point. Don't you think?
Too many injuries, and even when he is playing, he's at best just a mediocre quarterback.
And you're putting him in a worse situation than Indy, right? Don't you think? Like Indy has a better running,
better running
Washington
game,
has good running backs,
better,
but not the
better
same.
line.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and they lose Scherf too. So,
yep. Here goes Jimmer.
Here goes Jimmer. Let me get my Twitter fingers because I'll tell you how many games he missed all these years.
I don't care. That isn't enough.
Are you a Wentz fan right now?
Yeah, I guess. Over what he's coming out, the abomination that's coming out of both your mouths. More specifically, what came out of his.
So you wouldn't take Jimmy G over?
No, not. That is a joke. That is the game manager that you just brought up, and then
but a better one.
No. Wentz isn't a game manager. That's the reason why he doesn't have a job with Indy. That was part of his problem, is that he wouldn't game manage and he started winging it. That's literally what they even said themselves. The reason why they didn't want him anymore.
Hey, Rio, Drew Lock fan over there. Remember that.
That's
wild
true.
card.
That's true.
But you want that? Okay, that's the reason why he wants to keep Kirk Cousins for 17 more years. We don't want to take a shot anytime. I'd rather take the dude that shoots it down the field and Either way, my point is Jimmy G has an injury history too. So that is a horrible comparison, and that is a peer game manager at best. You know what you're getting. Wentz actually led his team and was the MVP up through 13 games before he injured his hand for the Eagles. He isn't that old. It may seem like it because he's went through this shit in the last couple of years. This is a tremendous upgrade. If you were talking 1 year, what's Fitzpatrick for 1 year? Who cares? They actually have a quarterback for at least the next, if they want to, next 5 to 10. You have to coddle this man because he has emotional problems. He really does, but he is not a game manager. If he was a game manager, he'd still have a job with Indy. And Jimmy G is not anywhere in that conversation. Not to me, not anywhere in that conversation.
He's a winner, though.
Wentz would be over Jimmy G. Wentz would be, that's not even. He was a winner with him too. He had 2 rough games at the end of the year, and then they just flat out flew out. Now, if other reports are correct about him, there's some other stuff again, but not quite as bad as what the Philly one was. But there's other stuff. But his actual talent, no. Like seriously, they got to steal.
Fill us in on the other reports.
I don't have it in front of me.
Off your head. What are you talking about?
It's like not going to game plan. What was it? It was the one about getting a little too wild with the ball and everything like that. It's kind of stuff like that. It isn't like the Philly one where they were worried about his leadership also. So that one is one that carried over from Philly, right? Not as harsh as Phillies because Phillies was pretty beat down, but the Commanders, yes, it's technically a roll of the dice, but what was the roll of the dice? A 39-year-old 1-year quarterback with Ryan Fitzpatrick who tears it up 1 year and then always falls off, or Taylor Heineke who has a clear-cut ceiling. And I like Taylor Heineke, but I like Taylor Heineke as a clear-cut backup quarterback. I would love for him to be my backup quarterback when my quarterback does miss a game or two.
Yeah. This
is a clear-cut upgrade. It really is. There's no way about it. And they didn't have to. They didn't throw in a second. They didn't throw in a second or third. The second or first. Not a single first-round pick for this man. It only turns into a second if he plays over 70%, which he will, because that's what happened in this last one with Philly to Indy. Philly got an extra first-round pick because he went over the snap count, right? Played over that amount. This is a clear-cut steal. Commanders fans should be at least a little happy at bare minimum. You at least have something to look forward to. Otherwise, you were looking at the same abysmal season, possibly, where you're hoping your defense carries you to a ridiculous amount of... because we all had high expectations for Washington, built off of 2 years ago. Then they laid down because their defense wasn't playing at that same sack rate.
And because somebody got hurt.
There's no proof that he was going to be good with them either. He literally played in a preseason game. I think he will too. I'm not trying to beat up on Fitzmagic, but we don't know that he was going to at this age either.
But he would have been better than Heineke.
Heineke,
right?
yes.
So that's.
But it still would have been 50-50. As in 50-50, like when he's throwing the ball. You remember the same guy that could throw you 5 touchdowns in one game could throw 5 interceptions in the next game.
Yeah. So
Carson Wentz isn't that guy.
He's not. But so neither is Fitzpatrick. He's not a game manager at all.
No, he's not.
He's going to chuck the ball up. So I know you're beating up on what Rio said, but to my point, to me, that makes me think Fitzpatrick's done, right?
Well, it could be, but what I was more getting at is that if you have a shot at grabbing a guy like this versus only 1 year with Fitzmagic at his age and his hip injury, I'd rather take that, and you have opportunity. Maybe you can get, I don't know about in that culture, but maybe you can get him turned around mentally. Because he didn't play bad, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone keeps forgetting. And just because he had a few bad games, every quarterback you can go through had a bad games. Are we shipping Dak Prescott out when he laid turds when you didn't have receivers on the field? We're not, right? But we do it to him because it's Jim Irsay. We keep letting a guy like that off the hook, who's kind of a turd of an owner too. A hypocrite. Same dude that got caught fucking drinking and driving but beats down on other people too. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting warm, but I do find that one hilarious. The Jimmy G one, like that's not even in the ballpark.
You just look at all his injuries though.
I know he has injuries. I get that, but he's not Jimmy G.
Injuries.
Jimmy G does too for the little bit that he started.
Not as many.
Nearly as many.
I bet you it's right up there.
I'm looking at it right now. In the games missed, no. So they both tore an ACL. So we'll chalk that one up. Wentz, hairline fracture in his ribs. He had a torn LCL, so there's another knee injury. A back vertebrae fractures, so he missed games there. Concussion, which everyone gets concussions. Injured his foot, so missed all preseason. He didn't look the same. Definitely, he was still messing around with that. And then some ankle injuries. So, like I said, tore ACL. They both tore ACL. He suffered a high ankle sprain.
Two of them.
Two of them.
Yeah.
So here's
that's right.
But he come back from the one. So, but the second one he missed the rest of the season.
No, we're talking about this year. He had 2 double ankle sprains
Early in the year,
and he didn't miss a game.
Oh, okay. Well, earlier I'm saying games missed.
Yeah,
like big time games missed.
Yep.
So he had one, but didn't miss like anything. Then he had another one he missed. So that was week 8. So then he missed the rest of the year after that.
I think you're looking. Why don't you just go to the total games played, like per season?
It doesn't say that. Oh,
just go to his games played. Games played.
Yeah.
Games started. So regardless, the ceiling is a clear-cut ceiling for Garoppolo. Wentz's is not. Wentz was an MVP caliber quarterback on his ceiling. What was Jimmy G? I'll stop it right there. If you can think of anything.
Oh, winner.
Yeah, he
always
won.
He doesn't just have one good season.
No, he doesn't lose.
Right?
He's not the reason they win, though, either.
Right.
So you want that versus MVP caliber quarterback. That's what you want?
We had this talk about Drew Lock versus who?
No, I want the upside.
In
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want the upside. And I was
So it's
and I wasn't wrong
injury
in that one
prone,
either.
right?
How'd that go well for Teddy B? They
Probably did the same as Drew Lock, right?
No, there'd be
So there's
more
not much
excitement
of a
at bare
difference.
minimum. He gives you a better shot to win. But my point is that's not the same thing. I'm talking about literally an MVP candidate. He literally was MVP candidate.
A while ago.
Versus
He was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
And then,
4 years ago.
but then
When did
Nick
they- when
Foles
did they
came
win the Super
in
Bowl?
and did great with that team.
That's
right?
great. And
so
then-
was that Carson Wentz or was it the team, Jimmer?
Great, but then they signed
That's true.
Nick Foles multiple times. Every team learned, so he got caught on a
No, I'm
lightning
asking you a
bottle.
question.
plays
I'm asking you a question.
well,
Nick Foles came in. Nick Foles is not a great quarterback.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
He ended
That's
up what? He ended up winning a Super Bowl with that team.
So a great system, absolutely.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
what has
Everything
Carson
was
Wentz
lined
done
up.
outside of that system, man?
He just played a decent season for them too.
Right.
For the Colts in a new season this year.
Jimmy G made the playoffs with a new system outside of New England, right? Won a playoff game outside of New England, right?
One.
So he's done more. They almost went to the Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Right, in his first year.
So the last couple times Jimmy G's been beaten in the playoffs, they've lost to Super Bowl champions, right?
Right, but Jimmy G, you're putting them on the same level. That's what we're gonna put you in right now. You're gonna staple that right now. They're on the same exact
At this
level.
point, right now, I would take
No,
Jimmy G over Carson
no.
Wentz. Yes.
I said his ceiling. I said I'm asking for his ceiling. What is his ceiling? Is he an MVP? Will he ever be an MVP conversation? Ever?
I don't know.
He won't be.
I don't
You know that. Stop
Maybe.
it. Yep, absolutely. We'll move on to the next one. I'm not even arguing.
I'm being honest. I don't know.
I bet you drinking a full bottle of this, and I'll buy it on my dollar.
Oh, you can buy
That
that.
he'll never
$12
be in the
bottle.
top five the top 5 voting of MVP. How about that?
I bet you the same thing that Carson Wentz won't be ever again either.
He already did it once, so it don't matter. I'm
System.
talking about one time. I just
System.
want Jimmy G one time in the system. Just one time to be in the top 5. That's all I want. Just one time.
I just
Or
think,
be the leader in passing in any form or facet.
listen. The Jimmy G comparison
Because they run
is
for
not
250 yards a game.
bad. The Jimmy G comparison is not bad.
No, it's a horrible one.
You're that far off.
He
you
is
said
that bad.
horrible, but you also said Steph is not even close to top 10, and you put him at 12. So I don't know what your definition of not even close or horrible is.
No, I made that one clear too. Now you're drawing something else into
No,
it.
the way you
He's
said it.
never
you
had
did
an
make it
over
clear.
80 QBR season, which Jimmy G has had 2 of them. Carson Wentz has never had one. He's had 2, actually.
Oh, has
Jimmy
he?
G. Yeah.
That's awesome.
78,
still waiting for you.
78 is the highest.
I'm still waiting for
Carson
anything.
Wentz.
When you're dinking and dunking in that system, he already said the system. That's great. That's absolutely. You're the same guy that beats up on Kirk that runs the same system. You're also the same guy that
Kirk
beat
is
up
horrible.
on Jimmy G when he's throwing a dink 5-yard pass to Debo who takes it 80 yards. So I don't want to hear this conversation
Stud.
anymore. I will bet a bottle that he does not hit top 5 voting in MVP his whole career. I'll
Don't-
bet that right now.
Look at San Francisco and look at Indy. They're very comparable teams, right?
No.
Are you kidding me?
They're not.
They-
would-
San
they're not.
Francisco plays in a tougher division.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm not saying
I'd
that.
say
I'm
a
not.
heavy
I don't want to. I don't even want to have this conversation because
Really good
they're
running
not. They're not
back.
the same. They're not the same.
Indy might be a better overall team.
No.
Yeah,
You're
they
insane.
Both, they run heavy.
No, that is a completely different. No,
What?
the talent. No, that isn't what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like the talent. Of course, you can go match for match. We're turning this into way warmer than what it needs to be. You're telling me that they are the exact same. If you take Kyle
They're very
Shanahan,
similar
no,
teams,
if you
yeah.
take Kyle Shanahan off that team, and you take the culture that has been created there, and you take that off of the Niners, then Indy would be better. But it's all about the coach. It's all about everything that's been created in the system. So they are 100 times better as a team than they are. Absolutely.
So
You're going to watch
Okay.
Indy fall off the face of the planet for letting Wentz go because they got spoiled, and then they're like, oh, we were so disappointed with 2 games that he laid a turd. Yeah, you're not even going to be in the playoff conversation.
How bad was Indy last year? The year before Wentz game.
They had Philly. They had Philly Rivers. That's a huge yeah, stop.
How bad? No, I'm saying how bad were they?
They were good.
Right.
With Phillip Rivers, a future Hall of Fame quarterback who threw for
At
like
the end of his career.
4,500 yards.
At the end of his
He
career.
threw for
right?
4,500 yards to no receivers.
Okay.
Stop it. You're trying to argue with me now. Come on. Come on.
I
just
don't
saying
like. I don't
they're
like the
similar teams,
Wentz.
man.
I think he's.
I know you're not a Wentz
Not-
guy, and I get that.
not a
That's
great
fine.
quarterback.
But I think that's a horrible comparison. I think Jimmy G is going to be an overrated, poor. He's going to be paid again like a top-tier quarterback. He's a worse version than Kirk Cousins. I would take Wentz over Kirk Cousins for a shot because he's going to give you that shot. We already said if you don't play the system perfect for Kirk Cousins, what's going to happen? Old boy can make something happen. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. Cool.
He has the upside to do that. Kirk.
He also has a downside to
He-
do what they did this year.
Absolutely, but
So-
that's a high end of everybody. You either have a high ceiling and a usually a hard fall.
Okay.
Usually, maybe not a Patrick Mahomes or a Jackson Mahomes, but maybe
Or
they don't,
Jackson Mahomes.
they don't have as hard of a fall.
I heard Jackson Mahomes is moving to LA. So
I did see
that'd be
that.
good.
Oh man,
I saw the tweets too. It was funny.
what I would have said if I was because we were talking about the Commanders reaching out to the Chiefs about Patrick Mahomes'
Oh yeah.
availability earlier on. I'm like, you want a Mahomes, huh?
We've got one for
We
you.
got one for you. We'll trade you only 2 first-round picks and nothing else.
Well, you get a 2 for
All
one
of a sudden, Jackson gets off.
deal. Get his wife too.
Get his wife, too. You'll have plenty of publicity. That's for damn sure. LSU receives notice of allegations tied to men's basketball and football programs. Yet again. No information has came out yet. Hasn't been released on what they are yet.
Yeah.
Just typical.
We'll have to see what
Yeah.
comes out.
Yep.
Especially in today's. You can pay players. You can do nil deals, all this. I don't know what. Oh, it could be. Oh. Yeah. Jackson State Tigers football coach Dion Sanders says he had 2 toes amputated after a medical setback. Sanders was hospitalized for around a month in the middle of the last season. The Tigers finished 11-2. He had a dislocated toe along with inflamed nerve. His initial procedure was in September. As he healed, his toes began to darken under the bandages. They were talking about amputation of toes, Sanders said. Then they were talking about amputation of my leg from the knee down. Then they were trying to ensure I had life. Sanders underwent several surgeries. He developed a femoral arterial blood clot. He also had compartment syndrome, which meant his leg swelled and doctors had to flay open his leg to drain fluid. Sanders later had his left foot's big toe and second toe amputated.
Oh,
crazy.
Like,
dude.
damn.
That's
That's
intense.
crazy.
Over a dislocated toe.
Yeah, and the surgery that he had. I don't know if it was because of infection or what, but
Right.
it was from the
Yuck.
I guess it was from the surgery itself, but I didn't realize it was that.
People don't realize how important the big toe is. I got sort of similar situation where they tried to keep one of my toes. It was the one right next to my big toe, but then it turned black and it was like, all right, that thing's got to go, right? And I just remember them saying, just thank God it wasn't your big toe. And so he had both of them. Whew, I'm glad he's alive, but damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Nasty. Juwan Howard rejoins Michigan Wolverines men's basketball team. Howard looked and sounded contrite about the swipe that they made at that coach that made him miss the rest of the regular season. I can come up with 1,000 excuses, but I'm not, he said Wednesday. I take full ownership of my actions. He kind of later on said that he knows from here on out that he's under one hell of a microscope and that he needs to watch his P's and Q's, which he should have been doing the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, he had that happen last year, right? Similar situation.
Yeah.
So he should have been in that boat, but when you're fired up, things happen. So at least he's finally to that point where he can be like, my bad.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Like I think we all agreed that the one coach shouldn't have touched him.
Yep.
No matter, especially you need to read the situation.
Yeah.
You know, when someone's hot, you don't put your hands on him. You already know that he's hot. He was pissed. You could tell from before and even walking through. But this is where Juwan needs to be more of a man, and then you need to maybe attest to the Big Ten after that instead of taking a swipe.
Yep.
So, hopefully you learned. I mean, Michigan's having a little bit of a down year when they were expected to be
Big time down
big.
here.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like a top 10 team at bare minimum, right? This thing is driving me nuts. Jesus. Washington Capitals Alexander Ovechkin ties Jaromir Jagr for third most goals of all time. Watching greatness kind of right in front of us, even though I'm not a hockey guy. But scoring doesn't come like that very often in the NHL. Not to one player like it used to.
Yeah.
Then we're going to definitely touch on this. MLB cancels a second week of baseball, pushing opening day back to April 14th. Now, the opening page of... I thought it said it right there. There's one thing they're hung up on. And it's not the ones that have been the usuals. Oh, the international draft.
So, hold on. Ovechkin does have a legit chance to pass Gretzky
Does he?
in goals, yeah.
Okay, where are we at?
Yeah. So, Gretzky's record is 894. And Ovechkin just, what'd you say he got to third?
Third, yep.
Right? So, he's at 767. And so, he's on pace for about 50, 57 this year. So, if he plays a couple more years, yeah,
Okay.
that could
Okay.
happen.
I
Isn't
wonder-
that one of those
does it say-
untouchable records,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's one hell of a thing this man did have. So the little bit I do know about hockey, right? Especially the little spark it was, is him and Penguins.
As a Crosby?
Crosby.
Yeah.
Yep, Crosby.
Yeah.
The kid. I think the kid didn't mind Ovechkin. Ovechkin does not like him.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a little bit of a rivalry, and they both were kind of scorers, but Ovechkin is the more accomplished scorer
Yeah.
and has been for ever since he's been in the league. and he holds. I think he only started gaining a couple feelings ever, like throughout his whole life, like 2 this year and last year. He got a little. I think he got a little emotional. Oh, he got emotional after they won the Stanley Cup.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a long time. I don't know how old he is though. Do you guys know how old he is off the top of your head?
Mm-hmm. Getting up there though.
He's got to be getting up there, right? Feels like those boys have been around for a while. So yeah, I'm not sure how long he's been around, but he is entertaining to watch when you do watch a little bit. I've stumbled. Well, I shouldn't say stumbled across it. When ESPN shows a highlight,
it's 36, bro.
36.
So
well, hockey players play forever.
Yeah,
dude.
they do.
So 4 years is not out of the realm of possibility for sure. And if he averages even 50, 50 goals, so what is that? There's 200 more. There it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, international draft is what's kind of holding this one up now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Yeah, it's always something. I think I'm really starting to believe. I was starting to hear some rumblings that MLB wanted to get this season suspended up till May. They kind of want to get rid of April. You know what I'm saying? Like if we see another one, it ain't looking like it's that report is wrong.
Right.
At that point, especially when they supposedly were still close, and then they started eating this, that, and the other. I went over that the other day, and then now we're going back to the international draft part.
Here we go. Yeah.
Why wouldn't the MLB want some regulations on that for the rest of the teams that can't pay for? Because that's what it's at now. Whoever can pay for said player.
Yep.
Yeah. Whoever can give the higher dollar amount. So
that's why it ends up going to LA or the Yankees, right? Like every time it feels like. So I agree. Yeah.
Not recently central issues. Yeah. The international draft, long part of negotiations, but not until recently a central issue. Scuttled talks Wednesday. The league had proposed tying an international draft that would cover amateurs from Latin America and Asia to the removal of a direct draft pick compensation, in which teams are penalized draft picks for signing top free agents, which isn't that kind of what it should be? Like, if you're able to get this piece over here, you should have no problem losing a draft pick, right?
Yeah, see, so the thing is, though, they also have the Rule 5 draft, which comes into effect. The guys aren't on your 40-man roster. They can go into this Rule 5 draft if they're young enough, right? So you could potentially be putting a top prospect out there. And then they go through a draft, and if you actually pick somebody, you lose a draft pick. So I'm wondering if they're just like
hanging up on the verbiage type of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're just trying to get to May.
Sounds like it.
That's what I'm going to go with. I'm just right. We're going to go with they're trying to get to May. Be May 1st. It'll be May Day. Be opening day.
Maybe. Cinco de Mayo.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And I think yep. And then the last one, Novak Djokovic, out of 2 events due to U.S. COVID-19 travel restrictions. Joker will miss the BNP Paribas Open and the Miami Open. So I'd seen that. So I think I was listening to Mad Dog, waiting for my kids at school, like I want to say a couple weeks ago. And if you don't know anything about Mad Dog, he's a huge tennis guy. He's like he's definitely those Richie sports guys that likes watching that and like golf and shit like that, right? He was saying that he thought that Joker was saying that he was going to get vaccinated. Well, obviously
nope,
didn't buckle on that. So
yeah.
Now, go ahead and hit our weird law.
The weird law of the day.
Boom. We'll go to Arizona. And we will go with so we'll go with the top one then. I was kind of just skimming the other ones. Donkeys cannot sleep in bathtubs.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
What if you're giving it a bath, right? And it's like, I'm tired.
You got a little tired.
Down.
Well, What the
You going to
problem?
prison?
What
Too
the
much
problem is?
ass in one tub.
Well played.
Too much ass in one tub.
What the hell? Yeah, Arizona's got some weird ones too. We'll get to a couple more of those. So, but yeah, that's what I got, gentlemen.
Very cool.
Boom.
Very cool. All right. Well, that brings us to Rio's Randoms, brought to you by Bo's Power Washing out of Belmont, Iowa. He does a lot of things: mowing, weed eating, clean your gutters, power wash your sidewalks, your driveway if you need it. In the wintertime, he'll move your snow. Seems like we're heading into spring, so that may have to wait. But you can hit him up at 641-903-1720. So, first one for tonight. Would you ever take your family to colonize Mars knowing you could never come back to Earth?
No.
At any point, never.
I don't think it would. No. Are we the first, or could there be
Yeah.
more people?
There could be more coming, but like you're the first big group. Say they're taking 20,000 people. Would you take your family?
No, I don't think so. Nope.
Yes.
I think I would too.
Yeah. The way this planet's going,
Yep, exactly.
we're gonna get there and we're take it over right away.
I would just because just the way things are going right now. Like
Nope.
it's crazy world these days. So I don't know.
It is. Unless that ship had Wi-Fi on our way there, my kids would take it down. So we probably wouldn't even make it to Mars. Right.
This is
I don't know about
bullshit.
that. Yeah.
Can't watch Paw Patrol, damn it.
Right.
All right. So whose thoughts would you want to be able to read? Your boss, your parents, or your significant other?
Dude, that's dangerous.
That is dangerous any way you go about it.
I would say so. For comedy, it would have to be, my wife's. But God, she could probably. She said some mean stuff to me out loud. Imagine what she's
Imagine
thinking.
what she's keeping
So
back.
I would have to say the boss because you could manipulate that. Then you could use that to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So
I had to reply to the wife. Remind me of the question. What was the question?
Whose thoughts would you want to be able to read? Your bosses, your parents, or your significant other?
My parents. Not the wife. No.
Not the wife.
No.
Scared.
I don't want to know.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
scary.
Yep.
That small,
I'd have to say the
that
boss.
small wiener having motherfucker. I ain't going. What the hell? God.
8
said-
8 inches my ass.
Wrong side of the ruler. Wrong side of the ruler. No, stop it. You said I was a big boy.
Yeah. Quit lying.
No, I mean like big, like
I already knew that.
son of a bitch.
That's what they meant by hog. Damn it.
Looking like a hog. What the hell? Yeah, boss. The boss one would probably be it for me. Definitely not my parents. 'Cause I don't want no part of that. And significant other, yeah, my wife can be mean just saying words to me. So imagine what she's holding back. Definitely the boss for me.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Well, I don't want to hear her like. I can already assume. I already know some of like the male actors and shit that she'd want to go ahead and get some loving from.
Oh, okay.
But
That's what you know, right?
right. That's what
That's
I
what you
know.
know.
Yeah.
Wait till you're actually hearing it. Like she's like, "Damn, Casey's boy." Dude, but what the hell? This dude has like 17 lip piercings and blue hair and shit. What are you talking about?
Right?
Like, oh, this is what you're into?
Your landlord
You
comes
freak.
over and she's just like, oh my God.
Right.
You're like, what the
What the hell is going on?
Can you replace my garage door, please? Come on.
There's all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. I don't want to
right?
hear or know out of my wife's personal thoughts.
Yep. And my last one. What would be the worst way to be tortured? What way would you not want to be tortured if somebody had to get information from you?
Anything to do with breathing.
That'd be
So,
pretty messed up.
so what I mean is like waterboarding.
It doesn't have to hurt. Like, just what's one thing uncomfortable you wouldn't want done to you? I know I freak out if people touch my feet, and like Allie tries to tickle my feet, and I kick her in the face.
I don't want to be handcuffed.
No, you're talking about for torture, though, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
You said for torture.
Something done to you. That,
So beyond handcuffs.
Torture. So you're already going to be handcuffed anyway. Get over that part. You're already going to be tied up, brother. So that part's happening.
Joke's on you. I'm into, what is it, BDSM?
BDSM, baby. Give me some of those hot red pokers.
Ripping the fingernails off.
Oh, God damn you.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a wrap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be pretty bad. Okay, if you had, hold on, let's go. Let's flip this mid sentence. If you had to get information from someone, which way? How are you gonna get it from them?
That's what I'm doing.
You're ripping fingernails
Oh,
off.
yeah.
No, you have to work up to that. Or at least I would. I should say you don't have to. I would probably work up to that, unless it had to do with like they have my kids.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna crank this up right now.
No, it's to them. It's actually to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if it was like something like normal information that didn't have to do with my family or something, I'm all about we'll work it on up. We'll do the waterboarding. We'll do all kinds of shit. I don't know which one it'd be. Which one are you gonna take? You know what? If we're gonna go ahead and crank it right up to it, be like, dude, I have a ragged, dull razor blade that I'm gonna lop your penis off with, and I have it right up against it.
Jesus.
Hey, you know where I'm going the same.
Or a cigar. One of the cigar
Oh,
clippers.
you're taking inches off at a time.
Yeah, just bang, bang, bang.
I'm the same way. I'm heating up like a wire hanger, and we're gonna insert it
Into what?
the tip of your.
Oh
my God.
dude!
Damn. I thought my fingernail thing was bad. That's fucked up. Listen, as soon as you start lighting that up, it's over. I'm telling you everything.
You're right. I'm done. I'm spilling the beans.
You can unhandcuff me. It's
You
all-
ever
we're-
seen
I'm
the Goonies?
immediately.
Yeah.
You ever see the Goonies?
Yes,
He's
dude.
telling everything.
Everything.
When I was in kindergarten. Oh, dude, everything will be coming
It's
out.
over.
Yeah.
So I'm getting your information. You got it.
Yeah.
Fingernails is pretty damn good.
That's a tough one. Ugh.
What about that one movie? I can't remember the name of it, where she hobbled that guy. Remember, she broke his fucking ankles at the end of the bed.
Wasn't that
what the
is that girl with the dragon tattoo?
It's the no.
That's really-
that's fucked up too. No, it's this famous. She's bigger actress. She's older, but anyway, she basically kidnaps this guy. He's handcuffed and feet cuffed and everything, and she hobbles him. So his feet are cuffed at the brace of the bed or whatever, and she breaks. His ankles
I would
over
say
it.
anything to do with that. Like if you start breaking toes and shit and fingers with a hammer, that's probably
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be.
dude. Like
Yeah.
taking nails and they're just putting a nail through your, or like a thumb or something. Oh,
We already had a conversation like this, Rio, at work.
I don't recall.
Would you take a nail and kick it into a wall as hard as you possibly could into your big toe, or drink a half cup of Spank?
Yeah. Ooh. Danny, I want to. He's shaking his head over here. Danny, I want your answer.
First of all, the Misery is what the movie's called.
Misery?
Misery.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super fucked up.
So,
What were you shaking your head?
speaking of shit,
Both.
are you kicking the nail through your toe, or are you taking that shot?
half cup.
Half cup?
No,
Oh,
no,
for
no.
fuck's sake.
Well, it's like a Dixie cup, or whatever you want to call it. Red Solo cup, half cup. Yep.
Oh, that's a lot. Jeez.
I'm probably kicking the nail.
I'm probably kicking the nail too.
Yeah.
Dude, you do line this nail up here and think twice. I think.
You think so? Until you have that cup sitting there too, and then kicking that nail as hard as I can.
You're kicking pretty fucking
So
hard.
you have the cup sitting.
Get it done. You put that cup in front of me, it's over. I'm kicking a field goal. This is a 25-yard field goal.
Somebody lay that cup down. Get hard.
Because we talked about you had your. Because how many guys did it take to fill that cup up? Because we talked about the
Hey,
bottle of Coke.
First off, yes,
The
absolutely.
leader.
Yeah, the multiple leaders.
Yes.
So, interesting fact. Are we going there? Probably not. We should leave that one alone.
Okay, story
We'll
time
leave-
another time.
We'll save that for a different day.
Hold on. What are you doing?
What?
You kicking the nail?
dude, that's a hard one.
He swallowed.
So what I left with a gray area is nobody said it had to be some other dude spank.
Does that matter?
That matters a little bit.
I don't
That
know.
matters a little bit. I'm not saying it isn't like I take it from my own fucking spout, but at the end of the day, if you had to, someone puts a gun to your head, you have 2 cups. This dude's or yours. Which one are you drinking? You're drinking yours.
Yeah, I'll feel less. How do you say it?
At least it's my own.
Yeah.
My own flavor, I
Okay,
guess.
you know what? That actually is a fair point because the question is like, if you could pleasure yourself, like, would you do it? And the answer is probably yes, right? So maybe you're onto something there.
Yeah.
All right.
The nail.
Can you wash it down? That's a question, right, Rio?
Oh, there was no rules against any of that.
Right.
That's so.
Done.
The point of this game is also find the loopholes.
Right. I'll have to take part of this tin high
Yes.
bottle and burn
Most
it
of
out.
it.
Burn it down.
Most
Burn
of it.
it.
Dude, dude, it'd be a tough one. That's the reason why it's a tough one.
Yeah.
So the nail, dude, I don't know if I could do the nail. Like I put the nail down. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do the nail. I'm gonna get down there, and then we're talking about that's almost to be like
Danny said, till that cup.
well, I filled it. I already know what it looks like.
But if you didn't,
No, I did.
Let's say you didn't.
Let's say you didn't fill
No,
the cup.
I did. I did fill it.
in this situation, you didn't.
You're changing the rules of the question. The question was purely a half cup of spank. I'm telling you that it would be your own then.
Yeah.
All right.
You get to pick whatever. You get to pick animal. I don't care.
Okay.
There's no rules on that. You got to find the gray areas. But I don't know. I would tell you the nail. And then when you're lining up to go do this shit, I don't know. Oh. That's the reason why it's a tough one.
Yikes.
Yeah. Danny, did you have one?
No, I don't. I did one the other night, so it's on.
It's one
back to
for
you.
like every month or so.
Yeah, right. That is true.
We'll rotate. We got 3 episodes. We'll rotate through.
So
Yeah.
back to you tonight for our makes sense. You don't think about
I
it.
do. I got one. So this one branches a little bit. So we were at the last basketball tournament for my my youngest son. Travel basketball, Britt, Iowa, doing a tourney over there. Now, Lake Mills was over there. Lake Mills. So we've dealt with him before in baseball, but a completely different. So my son played for Mason City baseball, travel baseball, and there was a tournament that they partook in last year. And then the championship game, it was my son's team versus this Lake Mills team. Now, we were winning this game. So I'm going to give you context of that to come back to the basketball tournament. We were winning this game. I do believe it was like 5-3. It was a 2-run game, no matter what you want to cut it. It don't matter if it was 6-4, 5-3, whatever. But at least you get what I'm saying. We're up by 2 through the 4th inning, and then a monsoon comes through. I'm like, I can't. This is not an exaggeration. It was a torrential downpour, and it did not stop, and it just kept going. It flooded every field in seconds, right?
Jesus.
So there's no way that they're going to get back on the field. Well, they called. Now, before the tournament started, they said they were going to go, even though it wasn't a USSSA tournament, they said they were going to go by USSSA rules. USSSA rules state that it's supposed to be through the 4th inning. Not through the 5th, through the 4th. They gave the championship trophy to that Lake Mills team, and they all celebrated. And I'm not talking about just the kids. I'm not talking about the kids. The kids is one thing. They think they're champions, whatever, because they went by points. Because after that, it also goes by points for or whatever in the rest of your bracket play and all that stuff up to that point. So they had more points for. They played 2 younger teams. It doesn't matter. Regardless, both undefeated going into that game. I'm talking about the parents were ridiculous. Hooping and hollering. We did that. I mean, like, just bouncing off the wall, the whole works. I'm like, it's like I said, it's like downpouring, and all of our boys pissed off. They knew that they should have been the winner. They were ahead in this game. They hadn't even caught fire. We haven't even put out our best pitcher yet. Like, we were doing this just like So everyone's pissed off. Most of the boys took their second place trophies and tossed them. They were that upset. Like, there shouldn't be a second place. Come to find out, they got rewarded with the first place trophy a week later after it was pointed out. But it isn't like Lake Mills is there to go ahead and hand them back the second place trophy to let them know. But I'm telling you this to tell you how their parents acted, right? And I can't stress like how much over they went. We get to this we're at this basketball tournament. Now, I'm sitting up in the stands. Q-Man's game, I think he's already played one or two. Two. He's already played 2 games. And I'm sitting there just watching the Lake Mills game versus, I think they were facing Britt. And they were up by every bit of 15. And this age group, which is like, I think it was technically 5th grade. Is that what it is? In that age group, 15 points is a mile long. You're not usually getting back from that, especially when you're in the second half. They play 2 halves. There's like 6 minutes to go, and they're thoroughly taking care of Britt. Couple little no calls or whatever were happening, and these fans were going nuts. Like, just bitching up a storm, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just setting the context for this. Just bitch. I'm like, dude, you're up at 15, you know? Like, you're clearly walking away with this. This isn't like a tight game. It isn't even inside 10 points. I mean, it was clearly. I think it was even more. I'm saying bare minimum 15. So I knew it wasn't going to be good because I knew we were going to have to play Lake Mills also. And I've already had a pass with them, too, like seeing how they act. Well, our whole group is already sitting on this side. So I think there's another game played, and then Lake Mills and our team face each other. And these fans come and sit on our side. So it's almost, I don't know what the point of that was. You could have went to the other side of the gym and been nice and clear. You could say whatever you want. There'd be no context. Well, there was a dad there. And he was just bitching about every little thing, right? And he was just talking shit. And there was an inbounds play where Q-Man was actually defending it. And on the first inbounds, he was kind of going over the line a little bit with his hands. He was, clearly. I can't remember if he tipped it and they ended up still getting the ball, but it don't matter. I'm talking about this time around. He has his hands up. He doesn't cross his line. He has his hands up. Ball gets thrown in because they have the littlest guy, and I think they didn't have very tall kids. Their littlest guy was passing the ball, and Quentin hit the ball. This dude's like, he's crossing the line with his eyes. Well, first off, that's my son. So, my blood level. I'm like, that wasn't crossing the fucking line. Like, I didn't yell. I just said, I'm like, that was cross. Yes, it was. I'm like, I'm clearly sitting right here with you. It is not crossing the line on that one. He's like, maybe you need to sit from my vantage point. I'm like, I'm fucking telling you, bro, he didn't cross the fucking line. My wife had to kind of intervene and she's like, all right, that's enough. Now, the one good thing about me doing this is that I did not have to hear from the rest of that fucking group, that whole families of all the Lake Mills kids, the rest of the game, by the way. If they were saying anything, they were muttering to each other. And then we're all sitting right up there. So there's positives to actually just barking something out. May be uncomfortable, but everyone will shut the fuck up at that point. Let them play ball. Garner wins that game. They both had one loss. Because obviously we beat them. We lost to one because we're not an early morning team, really. I'm not saying there's a bunch of talent on this by any stretch. When you have small teams, that's what happens. Not an early morning one. We lost to one of the very first games of the day. So we had the same record, but we just beat that team. Who got the championship? Lake Mills, and they're all erupting again. Parents included.
Of course. Jesus.
I'm like, you do realize that you just got beat by the team that has the same record as you. And we're still acting like foolish kids. Like, Jesus Christ. I see. So actually their kids weren't bad. Like that, they were and what I mean by that is they were pretty damn good sports, actually. I'm actually shocked because of how their parents were acting. Yeah. And how they have proven over time too. And most of these boys I know were on the baseball team. So I know it's kind of like the same group of parents. Just makes sense if you don't think about it. Just I want to tell you the little angry part of it, but that makes sense is you're going to sit there and bitch. You're in bitch when you're up by 15 or more. You're going to bitch when there's literally not a call there. You're attacking this, that, and the other. By the way, the refs aren't getting paid last time I checked. And if they are, it's chump change.
Minimal, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're not making a career off of weekend basketball tournaments in Midwest Iowa, right?
Yep.
And then what the image you're trying to pass, like you're just going nuts over something that's like, keep the kids humble. Like if it was reversed, I would actually tell my son, I'd keep it real with him. I'm like, well, they technically beat you. They have some weird rules right now. You have the same record. Like, you played good, but you came up. I don't know if you should have got first. I'm gonna be honest with him, and my son will act like that too. He's like, we've been in scenarios kind of like that. It doesn't feel like you're a champion. You know what I'm saying? But either way, stop taking kids' sports way too damn serious. Like where you're yelling, and getting angry and pissed and elevating the love, the blood level. I'm like, good God. I didn't want to have to yell. Like, I have no problem just sitting there, especially basketball. Like, I just kind of let it go. I love watching basketball and everything, but I don't get extremely passionate about it unless there's some rough-ass fouls going on like that. Just let like football, I get a little bit, but not – I don't usually yell at the refs per se. I will say holding. I'll say something like that, but I'm not going to shout at you. I'm not going to – man, like, dude, at the end of the day, you're not going to see every little thing, but stop taking it so goddamn serious. You're not going – this game right here, this tournament right here is not sending your kid to college, I promise you. The scouts are not coming. There was nobody in the stands that was rocking a Duke hat with a clipboard.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I have.
Parents at kids' sports, man, is
well, you kind of told one, right?
Is insane. I tell you that. Insane. They get crazy. And
wrestling, too.
Wrestling's
very high testosterone thing, too, on top of it.
They yell at the kids. They yell at other kids. They yell at the parents. Parents are going crazy. And
yell at the coaches.
Yeah.
Yell at the refs.
It's just insane. It's like, I can assure you, yeah, sure, it sucks that they lost, trying to go for first state title, but AAU titles don't mean a thing. I can tell you that. Nobody cares about, 3rd through 8th grade, what happened.
Right.
Yeah, that's one thing. And you see more and more of those videos every day, right? Of parents just going nuts at baseball games, basketball, football, doesn't matter. So you're setting the example for your kids. This is how they're going to act,
I
Keep
agree.
that shit in check.
I agree 100%. But at some point too, like combo up with that, I'm comboing up with that with the parents going psycho. Is that these leagues, some of the professional leagues, colleges, shit like that, you need to just leave the shit alone too. Like what I mean is like you're out there offering a 14-year-old. So now you're giving everyone that is thinking that every single game counts like that far down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were hitting up Bronny James when he was like 13 or 14. LeBron's like, hey, you need to calm down. Like, leave him the hell alone, Yep. I think he was like 12 or 13. It was just before 12, he picked high school, right?
Yep.
And they just signed, like, what I said, pro leagues. National Soccer League signed a 14-year-old. Like, that also instills some shit into parents' heads, too, thinking that, like, no, let's just learn the fundamentals of the game, try to get better every day.
Yeah.
I understand it's competitive. I understand that. Because I do get competitive. I want them to win and everything. But at the end of the day, it's like I always tell my sons is, especially in baseball, I don't ever want to hear you say it's because of the umpire when it comes to you at bat. Like, what the strike zone is. You've seen what they called once. Don't leave it in the ump's hands. Take a swing then.
Yep. That's all you can do. That was a good one, man.
So, yeah.
Man, I tell you what.
Hey, you guys are getting up there here soon. He does the coaching thing, so he gets it, but your boys will be getting into the heavier part of it here very soon. So
yeah, hopefully we can get Banner to T-ball and that this year. Get
Yep.
him into little exposure. So, well, good deal. I think that about wraps her up. Everybody out there, make sure you give us a like, follow, listen in. God, Jimmer, where would they listen in at?
anywhere that you could possibly listen at. Apple Podcasts. Yeah. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google, wherever your little heart desires.
You're damn right. And make sure you give us a rating, too. That always helps get new listeners in and things like that. Shoot us a message. Let us know if you've got a story. It all goes down
in the DMs. Make sure you send those stories. Makes sense if you don't think about it. Words of wisdom, anything like that. We love to hear it. We'll get it out to all the listeners as well. Don't forget about our raffle going on up at Gentleman's Way. If you're in North Iowa, stop in. Book an appointment. You'll have till the end of the month, and you have to like and share the podcast on Facebook as well to be eligible for that drawing. Tune in Sunday. We're going to have a special guest with us on a phone call. Daniel Roy talking about, his kind of jiu-jitsu journey and everything he does. He's the owner of a gym down in Fort Worth, Texas, Goliath Jiu-Jitsu. So we're going to be chatting with him about some of the things he does down there. And he does some competing in jiu-jitsu, big jiu-jitsu events, fight to wins and stuff like that. So you want to tune in for that episode for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. Definitely looking forward to Sunday. Well, hey, everybody, that about wraps her up. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.